Over the past few months, people have come to see pharmaceutical corporations as legit heroes. The incredible speed at which researchers developed vaccines for COVID-19, and then politicians' speed of approving those vaccines, and then the corporation's speed at pumping out those vaccines has all kind of collected into this, yay Pfizer, yay Moderna, like, everyone's talking about what team we're on. I'm Team Johnson & Johnson. Like it's a Harry Potter house, which I guess is why I had no problem getting Johnson & Johnson because I've already been sorted into Slytherin. I don't know anything about Harry Potter except for that Slytherin's fucking evil. Why does Slytherin even exist? Get rid of it, Dumbledore. They seem to be a cause of a lot of problems. Please don't explain why Slytherin exists in the comments. I don't care. And look, I'm not immune, to the joy of being vaccinated and being thankful for that and wanting to kind of goof around. But I have had to bite my tongue a lot over the past few months because I hate the pharmaceutical industry. Like, I am so happy to have the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, but I hate Johnson & Johnson. I hate Pfizer, I hate Moderna, I hate pharmaceutical companies. They are evil, awful companies, and I don't even believe in the concept of evil, but they are run by evil, awful people who would absolutely stab your grandmother to death rather than give her her inhaler at like 100% markup. They take publicly funded research and then patent it and sell it back to Americans at insane prices, like a 30-cent malaria drug that they sell to Americans for $93. That's not a made-up example. That's a real thing. And Americans think that they're spending that extra money on research when, in fact, they're actually spending that profit on continuing to get richer, as well as marketing and lobbying efforts to stop the government from trying to limit their price gouging. And the average American believes their lies because we're all in this weird Stockholm syndrome with our healthcare system. You know what? Fuck it. You don't have to take my word for it. Go watch Representative Katie Porter make the CEO of a pharmaceutical company say it.
Now, you told us that you spent $2.54 billion for R&D for Imbruvica, even though the drug didn't get any better. Really, it was all for these innovations and indications, which are designed to keep competitors off the market and find new sales opportunities. So I want to look at what other money AbbVie spends doing its business. You filed 165 patents for Imbruvica. You filed patents for Humira, other drugs to keep competitors off the market. How much did you spend on litigation and settlements from 2013 to 2018?
Congresswoman, let me correct one thing that I think you just said. And it is not true that we didn't invest in additional indications and additional diseases. As an example, we received approval after the development work of graft versus host disease.
Reclaiming my time. Mr. Gonzalez, how much did AbbVie spend on litigation and settlements from 2013 to 2018?
I don't have that number offhand. I won't be happy to give it to you.
Okay, $1.6 billion, $2.45 billion on R&D, $1.6 billion in litigation and settlements. What about marketing and advertising? How much does AbbVie spend on that?
Well, marketing and advertising, we spend about $4 billion a year.
Yep, 4.7, $1 billion. How about executive compensation, 2013 to 2018?
2013 to 2018, it's probably on average about $60 million a year.
Try 334 on for size. Now, how much did AbbVie spend on stock buybacks and stock buybacks and dividends to enrich your shareholders from 2013 to 2018?
Well, stock buybacks, if you actually look at just pure stock buybacks, it would be about $13 billion.
Stock buybacks and dividends is the question, sir.
Dividends, and have to come back with a number for that over that period of time.
$50 billion. So, Mr. Gonzalez, you're spending all this money to make sure you make money rather than spending money to invest in, develop drugs, and help patients with affordable life-saving drugs. You lie to patients when you charge them twice as much for an unimproved drug, and then you lie to policymakers when you tell us that R&D justifies those price increases. The big pharma fairy tale is one of groundbreaking R&D that justifies astronomical prices. But the pharma reality is that you spend most of your company's money making money for yourself and your shareholders. And the fact that you're not honest about this with patients and with policymakers, that you're feeding us lies, that we must pay astronomical prices to get innovative treatments is false. The American people, the patients, deserve so much better. I yield back.
Queen. Wait, are we still saying queen, or is that cringy now? It's always been a little cringy. Anyway, good job, Representative Porter. You kick ass. Anyway, I'm talking about how bad Big Pharma is today, not because of that absolute murder that Representative Porter committed, but because of another bad thing that happened. The FDA has just approved a new Alzheimer's drug. When I first saw that headline, I was overjoyed. Alzheimer's and other dementia diseases they're some of the absolute worst diseases on the planet. I've lost family members and friends to these diseases, and there's just no way to describe that awful feeling of seeing this bright, sharp, alive person descend into this lifeless husk of a body who looks straight through you without recognition. We need good research, we need big breakthroughs, and we need new therapies. Until recently, there were only 5 drugs approved to treat Alzheimer's, with the most recent approved 18 years ago. Unfortunately, this isn't the savior drug that people are hopeful for. Biogen's Aduhelm, actual drug name aducanumab, is a monthly injection that reduces the amyloid proteins that build up in the brains of Alzheimer's patients. That's good, right? Well, you may be surprised to learn that after 20 years of vigorous research, scientists have found little to no evidence suggesting that reducing those deposits actually slows, stops, or reverses cognitive decline. As far as scientists can tell, those deposits might just be like the blue skin that people get when they consume too much colloidal silver. The skin color might help doctors diagnose a person with argyria, but giving the patient a spray tan isn't actually going to improve their health. So in trials for Aduhelm, the drug was an abject failure, and research was discontinued in early 2019. But later that year, Biogen and their partner, Eisai, massaged the data until they thought they had something of statistical significance for a specific subset of patients in the earlier trials who received a larger dose of the drug and showed a possible 23% reduction in cognitive decline compared to the placebo group. If you've been watching my videos for any amount of time, you should have a p-hacking alarm bell going off right about now. The short explanation for p-hacking is when you gather a bunch of data, you don't get the result you want, so you go through it until you find something weird, and then you pretend that was the thing you were looking for, even though something weird always pops up when you gather a whole bunch of data. For more information, please go back and check out these previous posts on Skeptic, how walking your dog doesn't give you COVID, drinking milkshakes for breakfast doesn't make your memory bad, having a sexy wife doesn't make men happier, cookbooks aren't making us fatter, R-rated movies don't make humans emit more isoprene, fish oil doesn't make parents stop arguing, cell phones don't cause cancer, and of course, women do not guard their men from sexy ovulating werewolf hussies. Anyway, you might think the good news is that a pharmaceutical company can hack their peas all they want, but that's not how you get FDA approval. To get FDA approval, they had to do a new trial that started in January of 2020. That trial not only showed little to no benefit, but a new possible safety concern in the form of abnormalities that showed up in the brains of patients dosed with Aduhelm compared to the placebo group, resulting in some patients experiencing severe symptoms including confusion, disorientation, gait disturbance, ataxia, visual disturbance, headache, nausea, falls, and blurred vision. The FDA's statistical review also suggested evidence of potentially greater falls in the high-dose cohorts. So when the FDA considers new drugs, they form an advisory group of people with relevant expertise but no conflicts of interest. Of the 11 members on the committee for this drug, 10 voted against approving the drug and 1 was unsure. The FDA approved Aduhelm anyway, leading 3 of the advisors to resign in protest after years of service. Biogen immediately announced that they would be shipping the drug in 2 weeks. And while everyone expected a year's worth of the drug to cost anywhere from $10,000 to $25,000, Biogen announced that it was actually going to cost $56,000 wholesale. In 2020, Biogen spent $4 million or so lobbying government agencies like the FDA's Department of Health and Human Services. This drug is predicted to generate tens of billions of dollars in revenue, much of it coming from taxpayers who are covering Medicare costs for seniors. Quite the good trade for Biogen, not such a good trade for you and me. And at the end of the day, we come to the absolute saddest part of all of this. Families who desperately want to help their loved ones who every day recognize them less and less. Families who will do anything to try to slow or stop the cognitive decline, including scrounging up every penny they can find. Because Medicare will cover some of the costs, but patients will still be on the hook for thousands, maybe tens of thousands of dollars, not just for the drug, but for the MRIs and all of the doctor's visits that are going to be required. To pay for a new drug that experts say probably won't help. It's all a big scam, just like when I talk about alternative medicine scammers who get desperate, dying people to pay for homeopathy or Reiki for their incurable cancer. Because what have they got to lose except for their life savings? Only in this case, the United States government is a crucial part of the scam. Anyway, if you have a loved one with Alzheimer's, please know the truth about Aduhelm. Protect yourself and protect the patients who can't protect themselves, because unfortunately, the FDA isn't going to.